type of way. And then they put them in these urban areas to police with people that either one, they can't digest,
right?
They have an issue with, and they just don't know how to control outside of deadly force.
Right.
That's part of the problem.
It's called implicit
that's where
bias.
And I ain't even trying to be funny, but what you saying that mean that if these white cops were barbers, everybody would have fucked up linings.
Period.
Okay.
Period.
Or pilots. Or,
okay.
What else? Nurses. Doctors.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think you even got to might take time to fry the chicken at Popeyes, like
Yeah.
correctly.
If you could just pull up to spot number 2, it's going to be about 15 minutes on your fries. We got to drop some spicy.
We got to drop some
Drop
spicy.
that spice. It'll be,
Yeah.
That sound like that happened for real in real life.
Does.
It does. It does. Especially the one on page.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think that's a lot. That's a large part of the problem. And I think until somebody starts to look at the processes and how we are, sending police to respond. Another problem also is that dispatch doesn't know how to dispatch calls properly. To me,
Yes.
I don't
agree.
feel like everything requires an immediate police response.
Okay.
But we're going to continue to have this conversation respectfully.
Right.
We continue to see, I thought I was tasing him. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. They don't weigh the same, and they're on opposite sides, and they feel completely different. You also got to click. You got to flip a little thing, like a little click thing, to get your gun out. Got to click it. So y'all be clicking the wrong side on purpose. Stop it. We not going for that.
It's funny. AI and I had and shout out to AI because AI was calling us, doing mental checks, and call your friends and family if you can. Make peace where you can. Some instances, as I learned today, you just can't make peace. Goddamn.
I got a piece to make.
There you go. But mental checks, man, checking on your people and all that stuff. And you do the mental checks. Don't send nobody over to go do the mental checks.
Don't do that.
We know what that turns into. But anyway, AI, called me, and I really appreciated that, man. And we had a conversation. AI, I don't know if we can have this conversation on the air about, a certain incident where, there was a young lady that was killed. But
yeah, absolutely.
Well, one of the things we talked about, and I think you covered it, like pretty much just like intent and what the energy is even showing up. And he actually talked about even when you're placing these calls, I'm assuming that a black person made the phone call for, the police to show up in that situation.
Yeah.
Just to it's almost like you got to be super specific. And like, hey, tell them what you said, AI. I don't want to, because you were talking about what I'm wearing, where I'm standing.
Yeah. So essentially, let's unpack, right? So we're going to talk about Ma'Khia Bryant. Essentially what it comes down to, I think that for me personally, this was the first situation of a black person, a black woman that was killed by police that I was conflicted.
Yeah.
And I caught a lot of flack for this on Twitter and Facebook and everything else, right? And I think that not many understood where I was coming from. And I didn't really take the time to elaborate because it's y'all in my comments. So this is what it breaks down to for me personally, right? Police killing black men and women is non-negotiable. That's not where we at. That's a non-negotiable. That needs to stop, period. It needs to stop. Police response, training, something needs to happen. That's a non-negotiable, right?
Right.
You can't reform a system that never was built for the outcomes that we desire, especially when we were only 3/5 of the people represented in the Constitution. So then people are going to say, oh, what about the amendments? Shut up. What about the 14th Amendment? What about the Second Amendment? What about, I can go on and on and on and on, because today we have people that are indigenous to this land that are getting pipes built through their homes, that are getting their land taken and stolen, things of that nature. I don't want to hear anything about amendments, okay? Third, I'll jump into the video because I meant to write this down, Shad. I was in the car driving when I was talking.
Yeah, because you was going in, bro.
There were 2 or 3 grown ass men in that video.
Yeah.
I guess now it's come out that one of those men was her biological father, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to Google it. If I'm mistaken, I apologize to you all. But the gentleman that was first seen kicking the young lady in the head at the beginning of the video, and the video was less than 30 seconds. So I think the whole ordeal took 14 seconds to happen. But there's 3 men there. So what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Mm-hmm. But for me, as a black father with a black son, right. First things first, bullying is non-negotiable. You don't bully anybody just because you have the ability or the advantage to do so. That's soft, that's weak. You can holler at me if you feel differently. That's okay. Second, you don't follow people home. you don't. You don't know what people got in their house. The saying, you don't know what I got in my house, that stands true. Mm-hmm. Third, and this is where the conflict starts to come in. Mm-hmm. Ohio is a stand your ground state. But standing your ground does not mean going inside of your home, getting a knife, and then coming back out. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Yeah. We know that police have the ability to de-escalate many situations that don't involve brown people. We know it. We see it every
mass shooters.
Day.
They get water
and Burger King
and bulletproof vests and are you okay?
And Burger King.
Absolutely.
We know that you have the ability to de-escalate. Okay, we know that. There's the posts going around of social workers and teachers. I was a teacher. I have never had to break up a fight. And a lot of y'all didn't know that, but I was a teacher for 6.5 years. I've never had to break up a fight involving any deadly weapon. Now chairs and brooms, stuff. I didn't done that.
Right.
I've never encountered anything, guns, knives, nothing. I found all of those things on students, but I've never had to break up a fight. What do you do? Because now, we're also understanding, well, not understanding, but I'm hearing that the young lady that was in the pink that was pinned up against the car by Ma'Khia was actually a 30-year-old woman. That's
like 24 or
24?
Something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
That's what's being said.
Wow.
Being stabbed to death is a real thing. It's not fake. Being stabbed to death is a real thing.
Right.
We don't know the outcome. We can't say if this young lady would have lived, if this young lady would have died, or whatever the case may be. We can't say. We cannot say. We don't know, and it didn't happen. Now I'm looking at it as, what if it was my child, Al and I, what if it was my child with the knife in his hand? What do I do? How do I feel after that happens to my child? Mm-hmm. But now I'm looking at it as, what if that was my child in the pink outfit?
Yeah.
And the police stood there and let my child get shanked up and possibly died, right?
Yeah.
I'm not here to take a stance because here's the thing. The day of the Derek Chauvin verdict, I was on the same side as everyone else, okay? Not everyone else, but y'all know who I'm talking to.
The side of right.
I was on that side, right? And I'm not on your side. Double negative right there. See what I did?
not.
I'm not. But, and I still remain on your side through this. There's just so much conflict and so many things. I think we all 100% know that this shooting is going to be justified. We know that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Right.
Was it handled the best? We know that it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Do we know that there could have been other outcomes? Do we know that other people could have died? Do we know that police break up fights and use mace and tasers and what? We know that police have the ability to do that. Again, for me as a black father, what do I do if my son is being bullied? What do I tell him? What do I talk to my son about if he is being a bully? What do I feel if my son is the young man or young woman that got gunned down for going after somebody with a deadly weapon? Or how do I feel if my son is pinned up against the car and law enforcement is watching him possibly in the potential to lose his life? And, shout out to my homie Wu Child. I know you listen, bro. And we have, excellent dialect. He kind of wrapped up everything in a nutshell on one of his posts. I don't have it available. I do apologize. But, and this is not in dispute of that. It's just so much. It's a lot. Like, what do we do when we celebrate George Floyd's murderer being put behind bars, and in the same hour, a 18-month officer gets out of a car and unloads 4 rounds
Like
on
on
a
some Operation
16-year-old.
Wolf type
He
shit.
was so calm, bro. I've watched that video numerous times because I just want to see what something different or did. He was so calm through the whole encounter, bro, and he could have hit that other woman.
And that's what I just wanted. And we talked about that.
Bro, he put them shots on. They're trained to do that.
Right.
But he was so calm, bro. Like,
with being respectful to the families and everybody
step off my
involved,
soapbox.
and just being honest, like total respect, and knowing me, I say what I want. Now there's I am walking on eggshells with this one, and even when we had our conversation, it was an eggshell situation. I am not. Everybody sitting in this room right now, it's 3 of us. And we got enough space between us for y'all to be true.
We're social distance.
Right, but we've all each
I'm fully
probably
vaccinated.
have enough trauma to start a black television network
Yes,
that
sir.
we've witnessed
Yes,
in
sir.
life. And why am I saying that? None of us are a fan of trauma porn. Okay, watching people get killed and all of this other stuff, and over. I mean,